If you have sensitive teeth, you've probably tried Sensodyne. If you live in the States, you've been getting a nerfed version while the rest of the world got something better. And the reason involves a Vietnam veteran, a university scientist, and $135 million. Flashback, University of Florida, 1969. A material scientist named Larry Hench is on a bus when an army colonel sits down next to him. Colonel Clinker was an army medical supply officer who just got back from Vietnam. The colonel lamented, while medical advances saved lives, surgeons had to amputate limbs because the human body rejected metal and plastic bone implants. The colonel had one question for Larry: can you make a material that the human body won't reject? Hench hypothesized that if the material had the correct ratios of calcium, phosphorus, and silica, it could mimic the chemical structure of natural bone, tricking the body into accepting it. Hench went back to his lab and created something that didn't just sit in the body, it bonded to living tissue. 6 weeks after the first animal trial, BioGlass was born. Here's the dental connection. Since the 80s, Sensodyne was using potassium nitrate to temporarily desensitize teeth. Tooth sensitivity happens when microscopic tubules in your dentin open up and fluid movement triggers your nerve. NovaMin, a type of bioglass, releases calcium and phosphate ions that physically rebuild teeth over those tubules. It doesn't just mask the sensitivity, it repairs the structure causing the sensitivity. NovaMin was more effective at decreasing sensitivity than potassium nitrate. In 2009, GSK, the company that owns Sensodyne, paid $135 million to acquire NovaMin. $135 million for a technology invented in America by an American university funded by the American taxpayer. Then they sold the NovaMin formula of the toothpaste everywhere, except the United States. When asked why, GSK refused to give an interview. Their spokesperson sent one email. Formulations vary by market depending on local regulatory authorities. Translation: in the US, therapeutic toothpaste is regulated as a drug. Elsewhere, it's a cosmetic. GSK calculated that FDA approval trials would cost more than the revenue gain from selling Americans a better product. So they shelved it. Americans fund the research but don't have access to results. A competing bioactive glass toothpaste called BioMin finally got FDA clearance in 2020. Only after BioMin received FDA clearance, GSK then released Sensodyne Clinical Repair in the States, which does have NovaMin. Sad. Pay to play. Another example of regulatory bodies and greed holding back progress.